this right in between postseason play, right? Although I'm shocked to see a lot, because everybody I know's got Phillies fatigue right now. Everybody's kind of dragging a little bit. These 8 o'clock games are over the toe.
There are people who
Yeah, that's our fault. Really? Well, thank you all for coming out. This is our town forum that we've been doing these little meetings for over 20 years now. This is our way to just talk about anything you want to talk about. Our format is we'll give you just a few minutes of things going on, some topics that we want to just bring to your attention, and then you set the agenda. You have questions, comments. I heard this, I heard that. What about this? Why can't we do that? Why are you doing this? Whatever you want to talk about. I'll go last. Morgan, why don't you go ahead? I'll save my stuff for the end. Go ahead.
first thing that comes to mind is we have a really cool little pop-up party coming on Friday evening. It's the Hollow Wine. Something new, 6 to 9,
6 to 10.
6 to 10. And another cool thing that's in the works is it's on Penn Ave at the lot next to the Groove Ground.
Oh,
Yeah, thank you. And it's 6 to 10 this Friday, yeah. Grown-up holiday, and you can go to a trick or treat among all the businesses there and get little get your treats. And it's a good time. It's really smart, and I really like the idea.
Thoughts?
For adults, that's
Yeah, I know.
They're showing the shine.
It's in South Jersey. Yeah.
It's out there. So they're.
Good on Route 1.
So we're gonna feature the local wine.
Asian village. And another cool thing, you guys can speak about it, there's a, I'm working with a senior, for her Girl Scout project to do a rainbow. So that's coming soon, and it's what's on my mind, so it's exciting, and I think it'll be well received. And,
Yeah, just a couple of things. First of all, leaf collection will start in the week of October 30th, but I do want to put a little announcement. May see Public Works out with the leaf bank. Oh, we got a new one finally, yes. So they need to test it. So we're gonna give a little shot. So if you see it out there and you say, well, I don't think that's a lion. I may be, but not on this. Just wanted to let you know about that. You may see while we're thinking about the roads, a lot of construction that we're kind of going on, everything from Lee's Avenue to a whole bunch of streets, so we're sort of at the tail end. Not sure which ones we have left, but the tail end of doing a lot of road work, especially on our what do we call them, or
Various alleys.
And the smaller lanes, and we were able to do that out of our general budget way that we can sort of pick off a lot of things, don't get a lot of attention, that's where we need the attention. That's in addition to, I believe, things are gonna go out for pedestrian, for the pedestrian program that we want a competitive grant for along Manhattan Avenue. Also sort of working with the community and other stakeholders towards Ferry Avenue, trying to see if we can do a little more and get a little more attention, maybe some more resources. So I'm gonna come to leave my stuff at the road. I'm sure you're gonna have a couple of hot holes in the next month.
So a few different things. One is major change here at the building, here at the Scottish Rite is it's air conditioned. This room always was, upstairs is not. Major change. We're really looking forward to having the ability to have a full season all year round. A lot of stuff getting planned. It's really an active schedule coming up this year. Steve Hackett's here the next couple of nights. His bus is parked out here tonight, but it is major change for this facility. want to give a huge thank you to, the county of Camden. They dedicated a good portion of infrastructure money and gave us that money for us to be able to get this air conditioning done. So big help. It's still our baby. We still run it, still do everything here, but the county has been a great partner for a while, but this time they've been a really great partner. And we still got a lot more to do, gotta fix seats, places all designed in the 30s when there weren't things like, handicap accessibility and a whole lot of other things we need to address up there. We deal with it, but hopefully we're gonna get some more money, soon to dedicate to all that. I'm gonna just piggyback on Rob's. I got a little bit of a laundry list. So he covered some of the projects going on. We're in the process of finishing major renovations on our water plant. This is all part of, you may see in the news about how the state, this chemical called PFNA, it's the state changed standards on it, lowered standards, which made a whole lot of municipalities not be in compliance. So we had to implement some temporary fixes. Always kept the water safe, all the water's always been fine, but implemented temporary fixes and then making permanent fixes on the water plant. That's almost completed. The county's gonna be doing a couple roads in addition to what Rob was talking about. There's a few smaller, we call them redevelopment projects that are certainly gonna be getting underway soon. At some Corey's restaurant, they're gonna be building a second floor and a third floor kind of on the front half of the building and have some apartments up there. One of them is gonna be the chef's apartment upstairs. Franco's gonna be moving back into town. He's gonna be there. The Presbyterian Church on Fern Ave. They have a plan to convert that into apartments. It's a group that has done a number of church conversions in Philadelphia. Their product looks really good, and we just finished up some agreements with them, and they'll be headed into getting their site plan approval and kind of going through all the local approvals they need to do. And the other one is the site of the old Jackstram. That's the property that is on Haddon, kind of facing the speed line, kind of looking across from there, you look at the speed line station. And that's gonna be a first floor commercial with 2 stories of residential above. It's gonna be a total of like 4 units. They're gonna be pretty big, nice big units there. They're not sure if they're gonna rent them or gonna condo out the building to make condos there. So that's coming as well. I can tell you one thing we did over the last several months that many of you took part in is this kind of major league recreation study that we've done. It's been a little quiet for most of us. They haven't heard much about it, so there have been a series of like 20 different meetings that have gone on since the first push with the public. And those meetings have been with different stakeholder groups, different groups that would make use of fields, have needs. And it's not just fields, it's recreation and art, it's everybody that's had some involvement. And there have been smaller meetings with them going over what their need is, what they're looking at in terms of activity on the years moving forward. We're hoping in the next month or so, say 30 to 60 days, we're gonna have some more comprehensive results of what this study has produced. I'll just tell you all that everybody's gonna want everything. And once we get that study, then we can start to figure out how and, when, and, begin to the hard work of figuring out how to do it. Because I know everybody, when I talk to them, like a million different fields, and we have this problem, like we just don't have space for everything. So we're gonna be prioritizing and working with everybody, trying to figure it all out, and it'll be a really wonderful, happy, terrific, easy little ones. So I think that's kind of a good kind of run through some of the things going on. What do you want to talk about?
Jim Hart, Night Avenue. Between Knight and Madison on that redevelopment that was talked about back in the spring,
Yes,
is that on, off?
that's all.
That's all, okay.
Yeah, so let's go, that's done, yeah. Yeah, did not move forward, okay. Okay. What else? Yes, sir.
George Kurtz, so they don't. I can't walk out in front of my house between 5 AM and 9 AM because people are tearing along Maple Avenue to avoid having. Because you know you have a school crossing, you have the one flashing light. But if we could get a police unmarked car with radar, and nail two people with tickets, maybe they'll stop doing 40 and 50 miles an hour along that avenue because people walking their dogs and out in the street jogging, they're at risk.
Okay, all right, listen, we'll take a look, we'll get somebody, we'll get them out there for that, it's for a few people we were talking to just before the meeting, like that driving is, people are driving, I think it's since the pandemic, people are driving even crazy. Basically, like there are no rules, it doesn't matter. We were saying that red lights now are, you know, if you're at the red light sitting there and it changes, really ought to give it like a good 5 count before you go. Because everybody feels if they're within a few hundred yards and it turns red, they can still go. So we'll get them out to look at there, but it is, I'm not telling you we can fix it. We did a major enforcement effort in town, you know, trying to stop the parking and traffic on Haddon Ave. Where people park their cars, it's phenomenal. You know, on the bump outs, you know, catty corner of the bump outs, their cars sticking out in the lane. U-turns on Haddon Avenue, just routine, mostly to get the parking space they see on the other side of the street. But yeah, it is, we're aware that that's issues and we'll take a look on the data.
The state was Haddon Avenue Junior.
Yeah.
And we've been waiting for 16 years, it's mayhem. Yeah.
They don't even stop for this. People start all the way down the far end where, the old movie theater used to be, they start at that point, they start tearing over me. And they almost took the cross streets to try to get out of it.
And that's true, and that is true from 10 to 1:30. Yeah.
I was going to add, one thing that Haddon Avenue thing is really to the grub hubs, because they all think, well, I'm just gonna go in, so I'll be done with that. Or they want people's driveways. Yeah, so please be aware of that and it's not. Right.
I'm told we have a question online. Is it my mom?
It's not. I have 2 actually right now, and both are having to do with traffic as well. So just to bring those up at the same time. We have Elizabeth Carroll, who would like to discuss the intersection of Bryant Ave and North Atlantic, where she says there's no stop sign in either direction, and as a result, many people are rolling through their turns, putting pedestrians and bikers at risk. And then a separate issue concerning the uptick in break-ins and wanting to speak to that.
So I'm very aware of the Bryant and Atlantic, but like, that's the T, right, the T intersection. And it's told that state law says you gotta stop, there's no stop sign, you gotta stop, nobody does. So we'll see if I can get the stop sign up there. So what was the question on break-ins?
Just, this is from Dean Rhodes, and he states that if anyone can speak to the uptick in car break-ins happening around town, they personally had a tenant whose car was rummaged through, and the officer had stated there have been an increase in that, as we've seen.
So let's talk a little bit about that. I'll just tell you first and foremost, lock your car at night, because 99.9% of incidents are cars aren't locked. If people are rummaging through them. But Kevin, you want to talk?
I just, the other part is keep your valuables back, have a car, at least have a site. You know, excuse me. It's nothing.
So Chief, you wanna talk
So
about that?
Hyundais and Kias specifically are being targeted nationwide. There was a TikTok video on how you can steal them easily. Kids are seeing that, kids are replicating that. If it's not one of those cars they can easily steal, they're still smashing out the window and attempting to steal it. So if you have a Hyundai or a Kia, I would recommend reaching out to the dealership and trying to get a club from them to try to prevent the vehicle theft. But we have seen an increase in motor vehicle burglaries and attempted thefts and thefts specifically of those makes of vehicles.
Yeah, and so, I mean, keep an eye, anything suspicious, phone it in, call. If it is, I mean, it's everywhere, the smash and grabs are.
And so
You gotta go pull my phone up right now, and show, you can look at videos of, guys.
I will say suspicious activity too. Call in the daytime if you see something that is suspicious. We have had stolen vehicles and attempted vehicle thefts during the daytime hours as well. So if you see something, you see someone that just doesn't look right or looking in cars or something, please give us a call.
Yeah, we'll go around, we'll go, we'll get there, yes, please, go ahead.
I have a couple questions about the redevelopment of the church, which I don't feel very cavalier about. I feel pretty serious about. We love churches, which is why we bought our house right across the street. So I would like to know who the developer is. I believe that's FOIA, Freedom of Information. Just so I can look on their website, we can feel comfortable with what they've done. I've also,
Do you remember the name, do you remember the name?
Spring Hill, I think.
You can get it, I just, shoot me an email, and we'll get you the information.
okay.
Yeah.
Also, I've heard a lot of people in the neighborhood talking and also read it's apartments, it's condos. I love adaptive reuse projects. I was sorry the brewery and the firehouse didn't work out. So I love, but they're also a lot more expensive. It's a lot more expensive to do an adaptive reuse project than to take something down. So we're very much wanting to know what's going on there. Is it adaptive?
It's not
reuse?
coming down, it's not coming down, church is spent.
Okay,
They're gonna reuse the church. But the major rule which they had to work through was, we told them that all the residents there had to be adequately parked on site. Right? So there needed to be enough space, so what that meant was, and I'm making up numbers, these aren't real numbers, but they started out saying, oh, we can put 100 units in here, okay? I'm making up numbers. Okay?
yes, I understand.
That's a hundred, not 100 units.
Yeah.
100 units, so you would need, 150 space, right? And so what they kept coming back with variations of it, put it in the envelope
Sure.
as much as they could.
Mhm.
And we got them down to where, what is it, you remember it's 30?
Units, I think it's like 26 to 28 units.
And
Okay,
so it will, the parking lot that's there.
in the
will
back,
be able to handle the parking for the unit.
right.
So it doesn't throw parking out, but you'll all get noticed, they'll have to come in for site plan, they'll be coming in, but the church is staying. It's not going there.
Well, yeah, we just want to try to be proactive because if it's suddenly something that's, I'm not a NIMBY person. I love the special needs home that's catty corner, but it's like, it just kind of changes our whole, we don't know.
There'll be more activity, but I think it's gonna change it in a good way. I think it'll be really good. It's gonna be the neighborhood there instead of.
But the overall aesthetic will maintain.
Oh, it's gonna be the church building, yeah. For the basement, they're gonna be putting units in what is the basement now of the church. And they'll be cutting out into kind of the yard area and making like little patios there.
Mhm.
So it'll be below ground, you won't really see it, but it'll be like patio spaces on the outside of the church. But it's still,
So when do you envision that these meetings will start or that the residents there will start to get?
they're in a phase now where they need to be doing like their hard engineering, which is designing and planning it all out specifically before they vote for site plan approval. So I would say, maybe this year, the stuff gets filed and there'll be notices and public hearing and possibly the beginning of next year. But over the next 3-4 months, I would expect something.
And so, but everybody will be coming out on Maple. So everybody will be coming out on Maple Avenue?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes,
I got a couple things.
sure, go ahead.
I'm Giselle Jimenez. I live at 336 Haddon Avenue. Okay, crosswalk paving. I called last year. I'm still waiting. I live right there where Bar Rudy is. They haven't painted it. They painted the yellow line, but not the white line.
Okay.
It's traffic.
Folks,
Traffic. Somebody will stop, but the person behind it goes around.
Yeah.
Are we gonna wait till one of these get hit or killed? Because it'll stop. People don't stop at all. Last time I was standing there, the cop stopped and the lady just went, dude,
You're right,
Yeah.
you're
it's
right,
crazy.
you're right.
They're not stopping.
You
They're
tell me
45,
when I
35,
can stop that, and I'll do it tomorrow.
They're going 45 to 35, cause I watched this bit, I'm when they drive by my house. And I see that thing saying slow down and it says the speed limit. This is crazy. My car got hit 4 times. I'm the one that's standing there that got hit 4 times. Okay, so now we park across the street. But I'm gonna fight over the parking lot because I gotta park, all my cars across the street. I don't wanna park my car there. Brand new car I just got and it went right there and it totaled. Another thing, trash. What's going on with the trash? They didn't pick it up yesterday, they pick it up today.
There was just one.
Yeah.
Encourage if you're not getting signed up on the weeks, requirements, to get announcements. It was a big transfer, I think, to sort of essentially call out because they just had so many absenteeism. And they're catching up today, tomorrow, Wednesday. We ask people to leave their trash out.
Yep.
And
They'll get, okay, but you haven't had, your trucks have been getting picked up every week except for this week.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
yeah. It's happened
No,
been
no, no, just like beer.
They'll get.
And the garbage, all that is sewer, I mean, your waste, that gets picked up by them, right? Now,
Yes.
Aren't we changing?
That has,
It
yeah,
has.
it's shifted.
The day it goes out with your trash,
Yes.
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 sometimes it's on a Saturday,
On
Wednesday.
Wednesdays.
but now it's rolled that you put your yard waste out to
With the
sea.
trash.
With the trash.
Mhm.
oh,
Yeah,
okay, so you
not
don't
with
know
it,
that.
just put it out. to sea.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's what I usually do, but,
Town crier,
okay.
and if you sign up for our next school notifications, you'll get
Mhm.
That's a text notification system, that's where you can register on that, you can do that through our website. You
Yes.
can register for that, and you should do that, because it gives you notices of a road's closed. Trash is gonna be delayed
Right.
today, it'll give you all those notices, so you get it right, what they call.
Nixon.
NIXLE, Nixon, and you can access it through the Collingswood document.
Okay, and another thing, I see all the towns that are doing all this water and sewer line. When are you guys gonna start doing that?
We've been doing major league water, so. We're
Where?
doing major renovations on our water. We're,
Right.
you know, on the sewer lines, and now we're doing parts of the west side. It's pretty hard.
We did.
Oh, okay. That I go to Audubon and everything is closed and then I go to Oakland. and
They just don't. they
And I'm
just
like,
don't
what are
need
you
it, trying to
doing?
control.
I'm trying to figure out what you guys gonna do.
We're doing it.
Oh, yeah.
It's
So
going
I'm
on.
gonna have you right there, I'm just, and there's any way you put those orange, posts there for people just kind of veer towards the middle of the road when they coming from Route 130 or Granby Road? Cause this is ridiculous, or put a, pedestrian sign, they don't stop. I'm afraid kids are gonna get, they cross the street, they ride the bikes, somebody's gonna get hurt,
Yeah,
and it better not be mine, I'm telling you right now.
I share that concern, it's just.
That's serious, even in front of the cops, this lady did it, in front of the cop, he's standing there, let us go, and she just went, zoom.
Listen,
This is crazy.
I can tell you that we talked about it earlier, the pedestrian signs we put out get crushed and damaged by
Yeah, I know, I
cars.
saw you.
The plastic things we do, we're in the process, like one of the projects, major projects coming up is, you know, at Atlantic and Collins. Okay, where there's been all those, you know, it's kind of been like it was through DRPA, like a little pilot project about trying to change the walkways there, bump outs. Well, that's now going to be built, but that's now, we're through the study phase, and now construction is going to start soon, next several months, okay? But the only way we ever, in front of the post office, we stop people cutting around, because we built sidewalks out there.
Right.
It's just, I can't, we can't do them all at once, that's all. We just can't do them all at once. So we'll look at whether or not putting something temporary up to try to stop the cutting around. We'll see what we can do. Okay?
Yeah, and then the lines, just please make sure that.
Yeah, I'll get that on.
The county, and they never did it,
Kevin, the cheaper, yeah, we'll try and get that taken care of.
And
Yeah.
I think told you already.
one more stuff, is, on Browning at, yes.
They don't stop either there.
Yeah.
I have that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was gonna get a bike rack at the ballroom.
At the where?
Ball here, ballroom.
Oh, plane rack? You're- Boom, we're done. Good. What else? Yes. I'm sorry, we'll get to you, yes.
Gary Bannon from the Lumberyard Condos. First off, I'd like to offer my thanks to the Collingswood Borough and the police chief for the assigning police officers to walk the business district on Fridays and Saturdays. I think it's a great move, and I think I believe it's been well received, at least from the people I've spoken to. So thank you very much for doing that. Also, I want to mention a thank you, which is good, to Public Works. Their efforts to clean up our public parking lot within the lumberyard has been very good. They're probably out there at least once a month, sometimes even more than that, cleaning up, frankly, the mess that the kids leave.
Yeah.
Okay. Question for you. The intersection of Collins and Haddon, and then across the street, you have Collins Street, I think it is.
Yes.
Okay, there are 3 pedestrian crossings right there. And we were with friends a couple weeks ago, and they brought something to our attention that they've been in other small communities where they've taken an intersection like that and they've left the light red for all the pedestrians to walk. So it's just something to think about.
We've had a number of meetings with Camden Town. Okay, it's called the barn.
The Barnes Dance or a pedestrian scramble.
Yeah, those concepts are all that all traffic stops. And people and pedestrians can cross any way they want, okay? To synchronize lights is public concern, why it hasn't happened, why it hasn't happened. There's really not the, kind of the pedestrian count traffic that justifies about $150,000 to $200,000 to do that. Okay, and we don't really have like in it, Manhattan, we don't have the pedestrian count. I mean, when there's a lot of people crossing the street, there's maybe 10, 12, so it doesn't justify it all, and it also will impact that delay on all the traffic engineers, like they'll flip out about how now you'll create issues about backing up on columns, backing up on, and that then leads to when that light does turn green, people go faster and don't pay as much attention because they've been sitting waiting long. Like, so we have looked at that, and we'll continue until there's some idea. That's a real problem. Cuthbert and Haddon is a big problem. It's not, the timing there doesn't give everyone a good shot to get across Cuthbert. So yeah, we're aware of it. We've looked at it a bunch of times. It's we really love the idea. It's just it's got the practical implication here. It's a little tough. Okay, Lindsay, you got somebody else?
Yes, Dean Rhodes would like an update on redevelopment at Haddon and Woodlawn. Warner lot,
Oh, so.
and maybe Sun as well.
The Warner lot, yeah, so there's 2 different things.
Mhm.
Yeah, right, so the old Warner lot is, do we finish, go close on this?
Subdivision application is this month.
So we are under agreement and in the process of selling the back half of the Warner lot. To a developer that's really just gonna renovate that building that's there. Is going to rent it to a business that exists on Haddon Avenue who needs more space, so I can't tell you. But another business is going to move in there. We're going to be making the front half of that into a pocket park, into a little park area. The former Sun Bank, the Ocean First Bank, we've just completed the process of making it a redevelopment area. We gave the borough condemnation rights. I've had a number of conversations. I've had conversations with some folks connected with the bank, that we're going to take action to get something done. So the only reason that hasn't been developed, and we had a number of proposals in, the one we really like and are trying to get done would renovate the building that's there, have it be a commercial use, and then build like 8 or 9 townhouses along the street front, and that does not generate the dollars for the bank like building a lumberyard building on that lot would generate for the bank. So the bank, like, ain't selling, they just haven't agreed to terms with anybody, okay? We told them 100 times that there's not gonna be a 5 or 6 story building on that side of the street, because it's not a train behind them there, it's so, so we're gonna probably be taking action shortly to like try and move that, because we know there are developers interested in developing it. The bank that owns it, has a really warped sense of what the value is. Okay, so that's for that.
Can I add about the one?
Yeah.
So the public one, so we reached out to the concert creative team, the green team, and to get feedback on on how we use this public space. We want it to be a space where everyone accessibility, sustainability, attractiveness, fun, all these things. We hired an architect, took that information. And that architect is processing that into some plans that they share with us, that then we share with the larger community. So just to give you a sense of where it is going.
Good, moving ahead, it's coming.
Yeah.
All right, yes, sir.
Yeah, hi, William Leeser. My question, I'm curious about the Public Works complex behind, what's the status of that, plan for that, planning process for that?
Sure, so this is about the new, we're talking about construction of the new public work facility.
I'm curious about the existing one, what's gonna be.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, all right, so, there's really nothing planned for it right now. We'd like, once we get public works, the other building underway, we've had some meetings, some developers are interested in building something out back by the water towers out there. But we don't have any hard proposals on it, we don't, in fact, I had a meeting, talked to somebody this morning about it. And there's nothing concrete, we may be going out like an RFP or something on it to try to get some attention there. What, at least for me, what I think can go back there is something tall. Like we can go with some height back there. The issues are gonna be, because we have these water tower things that are there, that kind of already established some height, but, it can, the issues are gonna be parking for the residential, it's gonna be, same issues everywhere. And plus, it's not exactly the greatest time to get a developer moving on the bigger projects, because interest rates are high. We're still dealing with, kind of the work-related issues about supplies and, workforce and all that kind of stuff. So there's nothing concrete, nothing set, not even a good concept that we're working on right now.
Is there any thought that like that land is particularly valuable to the borough, right, and to the community? And because it's a public work complex now, maybe the line of thought is like somehow keeping some or part, within the, public space.
Oh, I think some of it would be the one, the generic concept we talked with some developers about was that there would be like exactly where the public works building would be like an amphitheater kind of park arts kind of spot there. So yeah, there'll be some kind of public amenity. We'll want to make it work. We'll want to open it up to have that. We'll want to open it up so that there's more of a walkway to connect that back there and make it more of a kind of a fluid walkable area. But yeah, it's prime. It's once we get interest rates keep rising and rising, and we get to a point where there's a little more development on it. It's a prime space to get developed. And part of what we want to do with developments is we are able to move them along. We're going to do it with the church and Sapori and the old Jackstrand lot we talked about, is begin to dedicate some of the pilot revenue to go toward paying the bill for the recreation and arts study and facilities that we want to do, since that costs a ton of money, and trying to do it in a way that doesn't pull it directly out of existing content. That kind of the idea of bringing some new money on and use that to do some of these amenities that, some are amenities, some are kind of required, high school kids, sports activities, huge part of that experience. It's pretty necessary. So that's part of why part of the benefit you wanna get off this development as well as having, you know, more people, more commerce, more people living on the avenue, keep the business started. Okay? All right, anybody else? Yeah,
I just
We
have
can
one
get
more
anybody-
request.
all right, go ahead.
Can I get the lines for the car painted park? People, two spaces, all the time.
Well, you can
All
talk.
the way down from,
Chief.
what, Zane, all the way down to Brooklyn 30. None of them.
We'll look, we don't really do that in a lot of spots.
Do I have to call
because-
County County?
What's that?
Do I have to call County County?
No, we can do it, but we just don't do it because people don't pay attention to it.
Well, once
Like, you
they're
don't
there,
have to park, you don't have to park.
well, I do all the time. But I
We
mean,
know
I'm
most
saying
people
everything, still do it.
Just saying you
You
don't.
got the shop, the Chinese restaurant, now we got the studio there, the art studio. And I don't mind, don't get me wrong, but people take 2 or 3 spaces, they park their car, and they don't.
Okay, understand.
Okay.
Who else? Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're talking about all the parks, Cooper River parks. A lot of them, hundreds of Canadians. You can't walk on the grass, slide second base, you can't drive your car along without having to stop. Hundreds. Is there any movement to get that control raised?
Can I say it? Not our job. That Candy County Park. Yeah. The county.
It's not only communities. Do things for, you know, controlling and management, adding eggs to dogs and chasing them away. Invariably, it's just a hard thing.
And they're real active in it because of the uses of, for the regattas. Okay, it hurts all that, so they're very actively trying to do it, but. Listen, we went through a few years where our pool was getting crushed. But, and we did some things, and it worked for a while, and, you know, fingers crossed, it worked for a little while. So that first group decides to get in there, and then we go through another cycle. Oh.
We advertised. I think this is in the same vein, update on Newton Playground, which is also not ours. Haddon Township, correct?
No, county.
Or county, that's a county property, okay. No, it's Haddon Township.
The rolling slide. The rolling slide.
Yeah.
That's what all the kids.
I know we've issued a lot of permits for people to park on the street, but on East Summerfield Avenue, 100 block, we now have a trailer that's been parked for a couple of months. And we have 2 vans, we've been parked there, one for about a year, one for about a year and a half, they're not moving.
Yeah, all right, so the chief's making those of it, that's got out there, really. Yeah. So you have to wait for meetings. Shoot us an email.
Yeah.
Call, whatever. All right, what else? Yes, sir.
Yeah, Wayne Rossi, 114 East Palmer.
What way? It's really hard to hear you. Could you speak up for me?
Wayne Rossi, 114 East Palmer.
Thanks.
Yeah, so the couple of things, you mentioned the recreation program. I'm specifically thinking, one of the things that, and like even hearing like some of the things, I think there's not enough program for kids under 18, like specifically like around 7 to 18 age, like things like hearing about, you know, events like having a Halloween pop-up thing that's for adult, that's very adult oriented. I think one of the things we need more of I'd like to see out of the recreation program particularly is more for kids. I think having something like as a attraction, you know, like a community type center for kids in the town would be really helpful as far as like constructive program could, rather than, you know, having youth going out and breaking into cars and things.
So there's mention about the Halloween thing, but there's also haunted hayride is this Saturday?
Saturday and the fall festival is also Saturday during the
Fall
day.
festival This Saturday, adults certainly can come, but that's kind of all kids oriented that's going on there, okay? And you don't think we do a lot of activities for kids from 7 to 18, really? Do you walk the park on a Saturday, like?
I would encourage people to have kids that age, encourage you first of all. library.
Yeah, there's
That's
a
what I
lot
was
of
just gonna
library
say.
programming.
STEM stuff, gaming, whole bunch of stuff there. you know, our rec program is always looking for feedback. We actually just had for ultimate frisbee, we came up and said, can you help us? And we said, okay. And so things are happening. I'm sure in the, I think it was 800 surveys that we got voluntarily, and 500 we did from a scientific survey, and then all the others, we probably had a lot of people in the the same thing, which is why we're doing the study and figuring it out. But yeah, I mean, look, we're always looking to do it better, but I'd say there's probably more than you think.
It's also worth
and most of it starts with people that would like to organize something and do something, okay? The honesty of the mind, perfect example. Folks came to us and said, hey, we have this idea, we want to start this thing up, and we said, hey, we'll be happy to help. The frisbee, from honesty of the mind to frisbee, to the ultimate frisbee, right? But like, any ideas you have, anybody has any ideas, do it, we get them all together.
It's worth
do it.
plugging that Collingswood Community Theater just relaunched
Yes.
post-pandemic, and that caters to anybody from 8 to 80. So that's a good program too.
Okay, yes.
Along those lines, when I had a teenager at home, there was no basketball court that was easy to get to. I think we were about maybe a mile from the high school, or a little over a mile from the high school, but there wasn't like a conveniently located basketball court that was, you wanted to go out in the afternoon and shoot some baskets with somebody.
Okay.
The high school is, they do keep it generally open for use, not for school hours. Yeah, it's true. And 2.5 square miles is not a lot of open space for additional ones that we have.
Yeah, and starting new basketball courts is never a very popular thing for people that live there. Yeah, I get people complaining who moved in next to a basketball court that's been there for 30 years. And we're like, did you see? That? It's playing basketball.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Everyone making requests, I want to give good comments about something to the fire rescue. A few weeks back, I was a customer. From the time the call was made, their arrival at the house was less than 2 minutes. And thankfully, nothing serious, but just a great crew.
Thanks. You know, they do a great job. We're serviced well by all our units. Great.
And they still managed to get past all those parked vehicles.
Slow up the speed of traffic.
All right, what else? Yes, Jim.
There's a house in our neighborhood, looks like it's kind of falling apart. This is town,
So
like,
email me the address, tell us what it is, let us know, we'll get somebody out to take a look. No problem. Well, so you kind of.
So if folks remember, after the Great Recession in 2008, we had scores and scores of homes that were abandoned, essentially, right, under foreclosure, bank owned. And actually, when I started in 2015, it was a 2-page list, Excel spreadsheet of properties that you know, we have to put. If you remember, we created a program called it was Collingswood Home Again, where we use the existing laws to not take over the eminent domain, but take control of homes, investing money, working with a nonprofit, St. Joe's Parking Society in Camden, to fix up these homes, get them back on the market, or sell them back, and move on. So we've done a bunch of those. Often we sent a signal to the banks and said, hey, by the way, we're gonna take your property. You don't do anything about it, and if we do, we have no incentive to sell that to maximize your profit. We just want to get it cleaned up, stabilize the neighborhood. At any rate, 2 pages, single space, we're down to one existing property right now that we got that we get. So it's good news.
I think maybe we're.
From the left, we don't know. But neighbors telling us it's really important, so share it with us. Anyone else that's out there that knows of something, let us know so we can investigate.
Mark doubled the list.
Yeah.
Yes.
Any updates on restaurants being able to have liquor?
Updates about Coos, no, there's really not, we've taken a run at it, I don't expect that it's gonna be productive, because there's, governor has his own idea about how things should change in the liquor license business, and generally, when there's 3 or 4 different ideas, they're getting put up there. Nothing goes anywhere, so, yeah, it's not moving so great. Yep.
You mentioned earlier that you were trying or hoping to get the lot at Sunbank condemned so that you could move forward on it to do different things. If you succeed in getting it as a condemned property, will it be easier for the bank that you said is so difficult to deal with? Will that process be easier?
Yeah.
So that something can happen on that corner?
So that kind of condemnation is one in which we would go take the property by the domain. So we have to get it appraised. We have to put the money in the court, and then we could take control of the property. The bank would then be able to fight us about what the value is. Okay, and the fight right now over value, it's not a fight. We're not involved in this fight, but the reason why it's not moving is because they're valuing it as though it could have a 6-story apartment building like the lumberyard did.
And you never
So
want
it has
that.
more value. And they need us to change the zoning to let that happen.
And you're never gonna.
And we've said, no way, that's never happening.
Yeah.
And so if that's the case, it should be getting value with what's there. And that's what the fight is. Okay, but
So
it's,
once it's considered condemned, then you can go for the eminent domain and.
well, it's kind of,
I'm making it simple, I know.
yeah, it's kind of, it's like that, yeah, it's like.
Okay, it's been vacant for 6 years?
Way more.
Long time.
Companies on had that was, when Tortilla Presses announced that they're, shutting down, it was less than an hour
Yeah.
from their post on Facebook that they got contacted, somebody almost wanted to open up and go put their restaurant.
Well, what about the
They just start turning over so quick.
There has been-
The DeBartolo spot that
DeBartolo's.
closed, the bakery.
So if you go poking around, kicking tires there, what's that?
It's sold.
It's sold, yes,
Yep.
Is it-
We don't have an application yet.
but it
is
did
who you
sell,
think it is?
I don't know.
Eh,
We don't know.
maybe.
All right, we've gotten word that another business on the avenue is looking for bigger space, looking at that property, about moving. Okay. Yeah, they're moving real quick, there's no reason for that piece of property to sit there.
No, there is no.
And what I'll say about Ocean First, I don't think anyone would say that three commissions here are against, population density or, having something, but the idea is it has to be a scale of what we have. So it has to work productively with existing infrastructure. Buildings that are near it, obviously residential housing. So the idea that we're gonna put a 30-ton gas tower, next to a 2.5-story home, it's not gonna work. It doesn't mean we're against putting, any type of density of housing or mixed use stuff there. It's just, it needs to work for the community first, and then to work.
Yeah.
And the contrast is like the water tower site that we were talking about before, right back there, like that's a spot that, the height won't be in anybody's face, right? Training back there, it's all a different site. Something like that could work back. But-
And I really appreciate that you don't wanna do that, because that changes the way the town goes.
It's like,
Hmm.
it's a no-brainer, and we've only been telling them that for 20 years. It's my theme for the last, 10 months has been, and I told them this, I'm tired of going to the same meeting. I keep going to the same meeting, saying the same things, and they're not hearing it. Let me say it again, they're not hearing it, so we're not meeting. What else? Well, a lot of Rangers fans out. All right, that's it. Thank you. Nobody wants a stop sign at the corner? Oh, there you go.
I'm
You're
new
like-
in town. This is a totally new question. I don't know who anybody is, so would you guys mind?
Welcome.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Jim Bailey is gonna then, we get Jim Bailey on the mayor of town, Morgan Robinson is a commissioner, Robin Lewandowski, commissioner.
Thank you so much.
Police chief's here, fire chief's here, our administrators here, our zoning officer here. Right, hand the press. Yes, but welcome to the tent. Where you sitting?
Park Avenue.
Okay.
Getting repaved.
And where'd you-
Yes.
That's
Getting repaved.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, next day.
Where did you move from?
From Northern Virginia, just outside. of
There you go. Great, good, well, you gotta get here.
That, please, you can hear Sterling.
You've been here so long. I've been here 11 or 12 years and I feel like I really belong now. But the people who've been here for 20, 40, you know, you assume that everybody knows everything. So like I read the retrospectives, like. You know, what's the court that's located on that? Would be nice to know, but it's
Oh, we don't
always
have
gonna be
anything to
the-
do with the retrospect.
Okay, you good?
Good, thank you.
All right, thanks, guys, thanks. Oh, Bill.